The janitor said not to stay after dark. We didn't listen. There were 7 of us left in school. Mr. Williams had kept us after hours for detention, but he'd fallen asleep at his desk, which gave us the perfect chance to explore the parts of the school we were unsupposed to be in. It started with the lockers. At first, it was just a few drops of blood seeping out of the metal bars. But then more and more blood trickled out until it spelled out the word run. The second locker spelled out too late, and by the third one, we could see the blood wasn't coming from the walls. It was coming from underneath the floor, as if something was trying to claw its way out. Suddenly, the bell rang. "Quick hide," whispered Sarah. We all ran and hid, but whatever was in those lockers didn't seem to care about the bell. We peeked out from our hiding spot to see hands clawing their way out from under the floorboards. They were covered in blood and flesh. They scratched up the walls as they pulled themselves out, leaving bloody handprints everywhere. Then they vanished. We didn't know what to do. We wanted to run, but our feet were glued to the floor. We wanted to scream, but our voices were stuck in our throats. We watched in horror as the hands came back, this time dragging something with them. It looked like a pair of jeans at first, but then a white, shapeless blob emerged, dragging itself closer and closer. Whatever it was, it seemed to be made of nothing but flesh, and it was missing a face. It slithered past us and onto the floor, leaving a trail of blood in its wake. And then it started to crawl towards the lockers. It reached out a hand and pushed open the locker, revealing a darkness so deep it seemed to suck the light from the room itself. Then we heard a voice. "Run," it whispered, and we did. We ran as fast as we could down the hallway, the breathing getting louder and more panicked with every step. Suddenly, the lights started to flicker. One by one, they turned off, plunging us into total darkness. But through the darkness, we could see a tall figure at the end of the hallway, and it seemed to be getting taller with every step we took. Its eyes glowed a bright red in the darkness, and its breathing was heavy and slow. Then another student screamed. We froze. We didn't move or make a sound. We just listened as footsteps pounded down the hallway, and another student vanished. We didn't see where they went, but we could feel their presence as they stepped into the darkness. Another shoe went flying across the hall, then a notebook. We didn't stop running. We couldn't stop running. But then the hallway ended. We were trapped. And when we turned around, we saw another locker. This one was different, though. It was old and rusty, like it hadn't been opened in years. But it had the same message scrawled across it in blood. Run. Behind us, the creature was closing in. We could hear its wet, gurgling breaths and the scratching of its claws on the floor. I don't remember how long we stood there, but eventually I started to calm down. I told myself it was just a dream. It couldn't possibly be real. When I turned to comfort Sarah, I saw a bloodied meat cleaver lying on the ground where she'd been standing. Then I saw her shoes. They were lying side by side near the locker, and they were soaked in blood. I screamed, but no one came. There was no one else left. It was just me, the creature, and the darkness. And then I saw the exit sign at the end of the hallway. I ran for it, bursting through the doors into the bright sunshine. I could hear the creature behind me pounding down the hallway, but I didn't stop. I kept running until I got home. When I finally stopped to catch my breath, I looked down and saw that my shoes were soaked in blood, too. I took off my backpack and pulled out my notebook, but it wasn't my notebook anymore. It was covered in flesh and teeth and eyes. Then I looked up and saw my reflection in the window. It was smiling.